Welcome back to Valley News Now. North Dakota's athletics press conference with the hockey team is just getting underway. We're going to join that in progress, that one just getting underway at the Ralph Engelstead Arena. Let's go. We have Louis Jamernik at the podium.
For starters, Louis, you got to play Boston University last year. What were your thoughts on that series, looking back on it?
Yeah, I think highly skilled and fast team. I think, and I think of it as a younger team, especially compared to us. So we just got to play our game, and I think we play hard against those kind of teams out east. I think we'll have success.
Do you expect a different style of game than last weekend?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Mankato's the older team, physical team, kind of your Midwest brand of hockey, and this will be a completely different thing. We don't want to change how we play. We want to still keep the physicality, and I think that's what will help us with success.
Is there anything looking back on Saturday that you guys want to do better to generate a few more goals?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Friday, I thought we played a lot better Saturday than Friday. We just didn't get the result. Just continuing on our execution, bearing our chances. I think we had a lot of good looks Saturday. They just didn't go in, so we just got to keep finishing on our chances. Goes back into practice, just finishing those small little plays that we can get, bearing down on those pucks, and they'll go in more.
What is it like going into a weekend like this where you're at home and you have a top 5 opponent coming in here and a team that was at the Frozen Four last year? For you guys, what is that like?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good team, we know that, but we try not to have. We kind of have the mentality of a faceless opponent. Like, it doesn't matter who we're playing every weekend. We need to do what we need to do. That's all we need to focus on, is playing hard, playing fast, playing to our identity, and when we do that, that's when we have success.
Would it be safe to say that this is kind of a measuring stick series as well this early in the season, going up against one of the best teams in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think our coaches, they set the schedule up years in advance.
Hopefully, if anyone there is back on the station, mic check 1, 2. Hopefully, sounds are looking good. Mic check 1, 2.
We want to have these non-conference games set up early because we're playing playoff hockey right away.
Looks like we're good.
I think
Thank
our
you.
whole season is playoff hockey, if you ask me, and then it carries right through into actual playoffs. So, yeah, that's iron sharpens iron.
A lot of firepower, obviously, that BU has. You talked a little bit about playing your game. How do you guys play your game against a team like this to match up well against them?
Yeah, it's physicality. I think when you got younger guys, more skilled guys, they hate getting hit. That's just, you could ask any player that. They just don't like getting hit, and whether that changes their focus or maybe makes them move the puck a little quicker, maybe one less play, that takes away from their game when they're worried about getting hit, and then that allows us to use our speed and then our playmaking to go into their end.
How important was it to win a game like you did Friday, this early in the season, to come up with a comeback like that in the third period?
Yeah, I've said it to Brad probably 3 times now. That I go back to that Denver series. It's huge. It's huge for the belief in your group, and just to have that never quit mentality, character win. I love how we came back. We had a focus, a mindset of not giving up, staying positive on the bench, having the belief in the locker room, going out, get the job done. So. I know we didn't do that on Saturday night, but to at least get that, start taking steps towards that. Now we're going to build on the consistency towards that. I think we'll be good.
I know it's early in the season, obviously, but both teams are in the top 5 nationally with power play. The importance of execution, but also staying out of the box, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Discipline's a huge part. We added those 2 words, discipline and swagger, in our locker room for a reason, I think, in terms of the daily preparation, commitment, discipline-wise, but also staying out of the box. So that's just moving our feet, not reaching, keeping our stick on ice, stick to puck. That's a huge thing, as you mentioned. And then execution-wise, having the confidence in ourselves to make plays, make passes, not making blind backhand passes or anything like that. Just, using each other, communicating, all those things. I could keep listing 100 cliches, but it just is what it is.
Yeah, and off that, kind of talk about your role this year. I mean, you've been on the PK, you already have a power play goal this year, just your versatility on that.
Yeah, I think I just try to be whatever they need me to do. It's nothing fancy or complicated. I sit in front of the net, and coach says, take the goalie's eyes, so I take his eyes, and that's kind of my role, is just to do as I'm told and make sure that guys know their job. So if there's questions, I can answer questions, but also reinforce what we need to do on the bench or on the ice, and I guess just help a little bit on the organization side.
Right now it's UND Hockey, but then for more information, and then it looks like it switched titles.
As a veteran and leader on this team, and with a bunch of young guys that you're helping lead, coming off a loss, what kind of advice do you give to the group to kind of not let that phase you into another series?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think on Sundays there's a lot of opportunity when you come home after a loss to be sad and to dwell on those kind of things. But I think the message after the game that coach had was just let's not dwell on it. I thought we played really well, and our response from Friday night's effort relative to Saturday night was really good. So the effort was there, and that's what matters most. And then from there, like we just talked about, the execution piece comes in now. Let's start finishing on the plays, and then that stuff comes. But this early on in the season, I think effort has to be their number one, and the rookies know that. The new guys, new freshmen know that, and from there it takes care of itself. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Abram, you got to play in the series last year out in Boston. What was that like, and what do you remember about the Terriers?
Yeah, when I look back at that BU weekend, obviously last year with Celebrini and everything, they had a really, strong offensive team, and just being able to play against some of those top prospects was pretty cool. So I think, having these guys come to our barn this year, it's going to be pretty exciting, and, they got a lot of young, really good prospects. So just being able to, we've done a lot of video this week and just going over them, and, we're excited for the challenge. They're a really good team, so, we're excited for it.
Do you expect this weekend to be a different style than last weekend against Minnesota State?
Yeah, when I look at Minnesota State last weekend, they're a really old team. Looking at their roster with a lot of juniors and seniors and graduates as well. So, and they're a big team as well. They played a really physical game. A lot of dump and chase and a lot of hits. Just looking at this weekend, we got a lot of skill guys, probably a lot more skill, a lot of, good young prospects. So just being able to know, what to expect. And for us, we're just looking forward to coming out and, starting strong. I think the last couple games, we haven't, had the greatest of starts. So just being able to own in on that and focus on it and come out strong this weekend is the most important thing.
How do you counter a team with a lot of skill?
Yeah, I think just, matching that, but, exceeding it and just coming out every game. And, we got to be physical. What we say is we got hard skill. We got a lot of guys that, play heavy, but they're also really skilled as well. So just being able to come out and just be ready for this game and be heavy, be strong, be physical, and just be ready to go.
Would it be safe to call this kind of a measuring stick series this early in the season against one of the top teams in the country?
Totally, yeah. I think, looking back at our last couple of games, we've played 2 ranked opponents, and I think we've done a terrific job at, kind of showing everyone, what this team's about. And this is just another opportunity for us to, show the fans and show everyone, what we have in the dressing room. So, we're excited for the challenge, and we're ready for it.
Talked a little bit about the firepower that BU has. Going up against guys like Cole Eiserman, Shane LeChance, Quinn Hudson, what's the best way to, slow them down?
Yeah, I think it just starts with being physical and, especially from the defensive side, just having good gaps and, not giving them any time and space. That's the most important thing. So that's something, that the forwards and the defensemen are going to focus on this week.
And then the comeback win on Friday. How important was it for your group to have a comeback win like that and show that resiliency this early in the season?
Yeah, I think it was, a huge thing. Going back into the second period, Bubs came in and talked to us and talked to the team and just left it all out on the table. We just, had that 2 huge power play goals and just kind of just strike the fire on our bench, and everyone was hooting and hollering and, excited, and just getting that momentum, really helped us going into Saturday's game, which obviously, didn't come out with a win, but I thought we played really well.
With Saturday, what do you have to say about guys stepping up defensively when guys are injured?
Yeah, I thought, the defensive, core did an unbelievable job. We had guys like Komzak who stepped in and played a good role, and Jubinville who came in as a freshman and played some good minutes. And then EJ, obviously, he's a special player, and he's done a terrific job so far, and Strathman as well. I think all the new guys have come in and really, proved themselves and are taking advantage of this opportunity.
For you, what has this first month of hockey been like, just with the fact of it being consistently ranked opponents? What kind of approaches do you take to kind of stay mentally sound during this?
Yeah, I think, having that opportunity to play such good teams early on just get a little bit of a extra motivation playing such, good opponents. So just being able to stay focused and, for us, just taking care of our bodies and, getting ready for these big weekends. We got a lot of, big opponents coming up. So just being able to, stay hungry and, just listen to what the coaches are preaching and just be excited for this weekend.
Abram, as making that jump from your freshman to sophomore year, how do you feel your game has improved?
Yeah, I think just looking back at last season and, coming into this season, just being able to build my confidence. I thought I ended last season off just being able to jump into play a lot more and just building that confidence over time. So just being able to bring that into this season and obviously helping the younger freshmen out and just taking on more of a leadership role.
Perfect. Thanks, Abram.
Thank you.
Kansas. So I started in Wichita. ECHL. He's got the climbing up the mountain. And he's on his way back down. So he went CHL, ECHL, AHL, NHL, AHL, ECHL. So now he needs to find maybe SPHL next year to close it out. The CHL doesn't exist.
We are just waiting for Coach Bear to take the podium. Stand by. He should be up shortly. Hearing from Grand Forks, just Brad Berry left to go on the press conference. Stand by.
Exciting weekend ahead. We're back at the Ralph here. Finished off our first road trip on the road, getting a split. Now we're back at home here playing against a very good BU team coming in here. And a lot of excitement this weekend with obviously 2 top-ranked teams playing against each other, and also one more shift with Dick coming back here too. So that's a lot of good things going on this weekend.
Do you expect a different style of a series than the Minnesota State one?
Yeah, it'll probably be a much quicker series. They're a very gifted offensive team, forwards and D. We went out there last year, and obviously that was a good weekend for us as far as playing high-intensity games against a skilled team in their building. And it's a situation this weekend here where obviously we got to play at a fast pace here, and we got to bring our best foot forward here and play to our identity here.
How do you try to counter a team that a really skilled type of team?
Well, I think puck possession is number one, right? Puck possession is controlling the play as far as in each zone having the puck, and then also too taking time and space away when we don't have it. They're a team that if you give them time and space, they make plays. Their D-men are gifted too as far as joining offensively off the rush and in the zone. And I think it's one of those situations where you got to play fast and you got to play on your toes and you got to take away time and space and you got to play a physical brand of the game.
How do you try to defend when D-men like to jump? I know they have a few guys that are really offensive.
Yeah, well, the first thing is having a mindset of getting to the inside on the offensive zone, but then getting back, coming back, because once a puck turns over, they're bringing 4 or 5 guys up on the rush, and we have to have no ambivalence in our game as far as getting back and helping our D-man hold lines and track back. And it's just not with the first forward; it's with our second and third guy that's down lower in the offensive zone. So it's a mindset of playing 5 guys together up and down the ice.
How's Caleb McDonald doing this week?
He's doing good. He'll be playing. He's been practicing here each and every day, and he's looking good. And he's back in the lineup.
How's Bennett Smolik? What's
He's day to day. We'll see where it is tomorrow here, but I would suspect probably need another week or so here.
Would it be safe to call this kind of a measuring stick series this early in the season, going up against one of the top teams in the country?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good guideline of where we're at here a little bit too. Obviously we're still building and growing our group as well as a lot of other teams here, new guys coming into our group here and defining our group here going forward here. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's this is a top team coming out from the East here, and it's a situation here where we're seeing where we're at this time of the year, and there's a lot of good things going on. I think some guys have taken some steps, with Bennett Smolik being out and Caleb McDonald the other day. It gave our team opportunity to play some heavy minutes and to see where our guys, and I thought they responded and did a good job. And situations where our young guys are getting acclimated on what college hockey is all about. So yeah, I think it'll be a kind of a guideline of where we're at, but on things that we need to work on and things that we've got honed in on.
What's the biggest challenge of going up against some of these talented players on BU, like Eiserman, the Hudson brothers? What's the biggest challenge of going up against them?
Well, I think obviously paying respect on what they do, but also, identifying on what we do. We've got a lot of really good players as well, and we've got a situation here where we play to our identity, but I think collectively playing as a team is the biggest thing. And at the end of the day, when you have a team that's playing to their mindset and to their identity and playing together as a group, that's tough to beat. And I think that at the end of the day, giving them respect on who they are, but paying respect to what we are and how we play and how we've had success is a big deal, and concentrating on the things that will give us success.
You mentioned some of the success you guys have had. The win on Friday, how important was it to show that resiliency this early in the season, come back from 2-0 deficit and get that win?
Well, that was huge. Having a situation when you're down, going into the third period and finding a way to get back in the game and then win the game is a big deal early in the season. Obviously you want to try to get the first goal and you want to go wire to wire in a game to win that game, but there's situations where you don't, and finding ways to get back in the game and then ultimately winning the game is a big deal. So that was a learning experience for us, but for us it's about trying to get there first, right? Trying to get that first goal, trying to start the game the way you have to and finish the game the way you have to, and that's all part of building a group here as we go here, is putting a 60-minute game together.
And what's the key to getting that fast start this weekend?
Well, again, being on our toes and having that attack mentality, just not sitting back and waiting for somebody else to do it or waiting for the other team to what they're going to do. Like, you got to take charge of it. And I think that's the biggest thing is each person individually being on their toes and playing fast, but us collectively as a group taking charge and having that attack mentality.
What do you have to say about how the defense is stepping up without Samolik?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job going into a tough place to play in Mankato. And, a lot of guys, they're finding their way right now because it is different from junior hockey or wherever they came from as far as the level, the intensity, the pace, the physicality. And I think they're doing a good job of knowing what they can and can't do, and I think that's a learning experience of, you make a mistake, you make a decision on a read in the neutral zone that you could get away with maybe in junior hockey that you can't in college. I think it's a live and learn thing, and they're learning a lot, and I think they did a really good job here, and they're going to continue to grow.
What does it take to keep the offensive momentum going but get some more of those to fall?
Yeah. It's absolutely a play in North hockey and making sure that, you put pressure on the other team. I think, when you gain offense or you get offensive opportunities, it's putting pressure on the other team. And obviously puck possession is a big deal, but also making sure that you make it hard on them to make decisions and make breakout plays and different things like that. And once you get the puck, making sure that it goes to the net and having guys be around the net. One thing, puck possession is one thing in the offensive zone, but you need to penetrate the middle of the ice to get those opportunities, and that's an area where we want to get better at.
Coach, you gave Hobie an opportunity on Saturday. Just what were your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, he was solid. I thought he was, he made some good saves at key times of games. I know that first one he probably wanted back, but at the end of the day, I thought he made some key saves at key times, and gave him the goal support that we did on Friday night to get the win. And, it seems like it's always in hockey, it's the first 1 to 3, and you got to get to that number. And we did on Friday, and we did on Saturday.
Yes, coming off a loss on Saturday and having to have that for an entire week, especially for the young guys, what's kind of the message on kind of letting that go and you got another big series to prepare for now?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We learned from it. We did a review on Monday, a review meeting on Monday on the good things we did and the things that we need to clean up and work on. And we do need to work on a few things, and we did this past week, and we'll continue to do that. But it's turning the page and knowing that, hey, we got to continue to build and grow our group here, and we got to have a mindset of it's about us mentality or about us working together and being solidified as a 5-man unit. And like I said, our guys are coming together here, and they're going to continue to build and grow.
Brad, the power play is off to another good start this year. What's kind of been the key the last few years to your success there?
Well, I think it's having 2 really good units. I think at the end of the day, you can probably load up on one unit, and if you have success, it's great. And if you don't, well, then obviously your other unit isn't as good, or you won't have a probably score on that. But we have 2 equal units, and we have a lot of really good players on both units. And I think if one isn't clicking, then the other one's going, and you kind of put the other team on the ropes a little bit when you have 2 units that you can throw out there. So I think having the depth of having 2 really good units. Thanks.
In just a few minutes, we'll be joined by Eric Moon for talkbacks from the Ralph Engelstad Arena regarding the upcoming 2v3 matchup. Boston taking on UND at the Ralph this weekend. I will be back in just a few minutes on Valley News Now.